Hi guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here for a little bit of a play. I'm in my kitchen today and I've got my sewing machine here. And the other day I saw Susie from Creative Cafe Girl, and she just showed these fantastic strips that she makes, and she just pops them on a page, and basically she does them on some coffee dyed paper and she just stitches a zigzag down them. So I've got here some paper bag, which literally I've just torn out some strips, and I just thought we would just see how, how that would look. So I'm just going to stitch a zigzag on my machine. So should have set up my settings first, but hopefully this is going to be fine. So I'm just going to run that down there like that. And this one's only quite a short one, so there we go. Oh, this isn't a very good start, is it? Right, okay. So that's that one. And then what I've done, it's wide enough. I've just got to rethread my machine. Hold on, guys. Okay, hopefully we're now good to go. So what I'm going to do is just do another zigzag down here, and then I'll be able to tear it down, and I'll have then two to use. So we'll go down there. I mean, I love the look of paper bags. I think they just have a really nice colour to them, when they're that just natural paper bag type colour. So, I really try and hang on to them if ever I get a paper bag. I mean, generally over here in the UK, they tend to be those awful plastic carrier bags. We don't get, that many paper bags, but when I do, I try and use them. So then all I would do is obviously just tear down, tear down there. I find doing these in twos, seems kind of about right. It makes it nice and kind of easy to put through the sewing machine, and also they're nice and easy to tear. I mean, you could probably do like a whole page worth, to be honest. If you cut your paper bag, wide enough, you could probably then just tear it down in multiple strips. I just find these sort of widths nice and easy to put through the machine. Once it gets quite big, it's a bit cumbersome to get it all, going through the machine. But they're just so lovely, aren't they? And if I just pull in a page just to sort of show you how these would look. And as I say, totally not my idea at all. I saw Susie do this, and I mean, I love Susie's work. She's so inspirational. And yeah, when I saw this, I just thought, wow, I mean, that's so simple. And of course, I only like simple things. I don't want to be doing anything, complicated and fiddly. But aren't they just gorgeous? And you could just put them right on the edge of a page. You could kind of tuck them under a pocket, all sorts of different things. So I've got those. So I'm just going to put those to one side. And then I thought, while we're here, let's have a play and do some on some other papers. So where did I put my paper now? Oh, sorry guys, I've had a lot going on this morning, and so now I'm struggling to focus and remember what I was actually doing. Right, okay. So I've got this florals paper. So again, I'm just going to tear this down, to a really nicely manageable size. I hope that I'm in frame. It's, a bit tricky doing this here. You'd probably prefer to see more of the worktop and less of the, what do you call it, sewing machine. So I'll hopefully that's going to be good. So I'm just going to tear the edges off here at the ends, because I like, torn edges. I don't know how the black is going to show up on such a florally paper, but let's give it a try and see. So again, just going to do exactly the same. I mean, she did hers, as I say, on just coffee dyed paper. I mean, I don't know whether that's really being picked up by the camera. You can see that. Again, you could play around with threads to get it more visible. This is how hers looked, because obviously this is, you know, this floral paper has been coffee dyed. So obviously you can see on the back, that's how hers looked, which actually looks awesome. I do like it on the florals. If I'm truthful, you know, I'm not sure how much that necessarily shows up. But moving on from there, I also have brought along some little sort of fabric squares. So if I just bring these in, and these are upholstery samples. And again, I thought you could possibly do just the same with these. So I'm just going to keep this, you know, as this size, and I'm just going to run that through and we'll see how that looks. I mean, obviously these fabric samples, this fabric's not really tearable, if that's a word. So, you know, you'd have to use your pinking shears for cutting this. Well, not necessarily your pinking shears, but scissors of some sort. So let's have a look. Right, I've lost the zigzag really on this. Oops, I obviously needed to adjust my tension. So that's just gathered up that fabric. So I probably needed to pick an alternative stitch. Let me just stand up and check that I'm in frame. I probably needed to pick an alternative type of stitch really for that. And to be fair, you know, it's not really showing up a great deal. So it would be worth playing around with different fabrics and just seeing, you know, what type of appearance that you could get there. So let's just lay that down to one side. So the other thing that I thought we could do is I've got here a strip of, this is that neck curtain that, you know, I know that I'm always using this, but, you know, as I said, I have obviously got quite a lot of it. So, you know, I do like using it. So this is more of the brown paper bag. And I thought what we could do is just, again, tear a strip and just then put the lace over and zigzag that down. So just going to tear this down on this side. And as you can probably see, I mean, there's a slight colour difference between the front and the back of the bag. I'm not really too fussed, you know, which way round I use it, but, you know, obviously go for the side of the shade that you prefer. So again, I just tear that down. Okay. So I'm just going to lay that on there, and I will just cut that down so I haven't got so much to work with on the machine. Again, you know, I mean, I haven't tried this, so who knows, I might have a disaster like we did with the velvet, but let's have a look and see. So I'm just, oops, just going, oh, my thread is kind of all gone static. So I'm just going to place that there, and then just stitch along that. Okie dokie. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, that looks really pretty, I must say. Okay, so that's how that looks. I mean, hopefully you can see the stitching. I am obviously using black thread, which, you know, the intention being that it would obviously hopefully show up a little bit more. And again, you know, if I just pull this in, so you could then just have that, I mean, you could even use that as a belly band, to be fair, on a page, you know, however you like, really. And then going on from that, I thought we could grab some flowers. So I've got all those, you know, the Hawaiian flowers that I dyed in the garden. So I thought we could try just, you know, a flower maybe on here somewhere. And then what we could do is pop, you know, a word or something like that in the middle of the flower. So let's just take this word here. I mean, I just generally like torn edges, so that's why I'm cutting mine. But I mean, obviously, if you prefer it torn, I prefer torn edges. If you prefer yours cut, then obviously just cut, you know, cut yours instead. So I'm just going to pop that there. And again, probably I'm going to just stitch through that this way. So as hopefully to catch that. But I mean, you could staple this or something in place, to be fair. I mean, unfortunately, I have stitched over the word somewhat. So, you know, I've lost the word a little bit there. But I do like the appearance. So I'll just get rid of my threads. And then I also did bring along my ink pad. Ah, she says, yep, okay, hold on. Okay. So if I just now, let me grab a piece of paper to put under the surface here. Hang on. Hang on, hang on. Right, oh no. Right, so I'm just going to lay this paper down so I'm not inking my worktop. I'll just show you how this would look sort of inked up. And again, you know, I mean, I don't mind if I'm inking up the lace as well. It all adds to it. So just ink that up. Actually, could probably do with opening a new ink pad at this point, but we will just persevere with this one and just lift my petals up and go into the, you know, underneath of the flower. So like that, and then just turn it round and do the other end. Yeah, I mean, actually in hindsight, possibly a staple would have worked better because as you can see, I have had to go right through the word. But you know, that's fine. And again, you could decorate that up with some bling and things like that. So let me just see if I've got any bling. Hold on. Oops. I have got such a lot of stuff here with me because, you know, when you're doing a video, you never know quite what you might actually need. So, oh, I've got everything, you know, including the kitchen sink, but I haven't got bling in there at least. Let me just see whether I've got some in my little packet. Ooh. Have I? No, I haven't. I have, however, got some little bows. So, I mean, you could put like a bow somewhere, you know, I mean, you really can just dress these up however you like. I have got another packet. Let me check in there whether I've got any bling in that one. Hold on. Oh, yep, I have. I thought that would be strange if I actually had come totally blingless. So let's just cut that down. Okay, so I mean, you could just put some bling there. Let me just grab my glue. If I have any glue, yeah, I have got some glue. Hold on. So we'll just then glue that down. Okay. There we go. And I mean, that really, I mean, you can see is too long for that A4 page. So I will need to, you know, cut it sort of top and tail. Well, actually, I might just cut it out the tail. And actually here, I'm just going to then tear the paper bag a little bit. I just wanted to cut the stitches and cut the lace. So, sorry, I'm just reaching across because obviously my stuff is now spread right the way across my kitchen island. So, I mean, that's how that would look on a page. Isn't that just gorgeous? And I mean, actually, you could probably, I'll bring in my other one, sort of layer them up. So you could have that one just sticking out sort of to the side of that, if you can see. So, I mean, you really can play around. And I mean, actually, colour-wise, they go fantastically, don't they? Let me just tear this one down. I just want to see whether this will slot on the side of here. So, like that. Oops. Oh no, because now I've stitched that flower under there, which I forgot that I had done that. Let me just try and pull that up. Okay. So what I'm thinking is probably, oh gosh, now I'm moving my bling around, which is obviously not really stuck on yet. So you could then pop that under there and actually run a, you know, piece of glue down. So perhaps I should do that and then it won't keep moving around. So let's just, oops, that's my Alexa, because our Alexa is actually in the kitchen. So that's what that noise was. Okay, let's just pop that down. Oh, come on, come on. Well, this is fiddly, isn't it? I should have probably done this before stitching the lace on. But anyway, so I mean, you know, straight away, we've made such a super simple embellishment. You know, would look so pretty just running down a page. You could put it on an envelope, wherever, you know, wherever took your fancy really. And that literally is just from, you know, scraps really. I mean, obviously mine was a full sheet of the floral paper, but I mean, if you had scraps, you could just use scraps for that. So let me just take that off. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that to one side. And then the other thing, you know how when you watch somebody's video and then just ideas kind of evolve from that. So the other thing that I thought would be quite cool to do, and I did do one, so I'll show you the one that I did earlier in sort of Blue Peter speak. Well, actually I did a couple earlier, so I can show you a few. So hold on. And now as I say it, I can't find them. Here we go. So this one was using a vintage cigarette card, and again I've just slotted some doily under there, and then there's a piece of lace which actually you probably can hardly see because it's, you know, it's quite small and it's quite a similar colour to the doily, but that's under there. So again, how simple is that, and just looks so cute on a page. So there's that one. This one here I actually stamped on some fabric. And then again, I've done the same thing. So doily, lace, and then the fabric piece. Again, in hindsight, I probably would have glued the middle of the fabric because it's got a slightly sort of bubbling effect. Hopefully that would go once it's sort of glued down, and I can also, you know, run a little bit of glue under there anyway to sort of help hold it down. But isn't that so pretty? I mean, again, it probably needs to come down slightly in height. So if I just... again, just tear that down like that. Okay, so I mean, they're really simple, and as you can see, this was done using the 2 zigzags, and then instead of tearing this apart to make a sort of skinny one, I just left it together and then did the layering. So I've got a few pieces here that I thought we could do together. So I've got this one here with this gentleman. So I'll just ink this up first, I think, this time. So I'm going to ink him like that. And then I'm just going to ink my, I mean, as you can see, it was the bag from some Ugg boots. And just going to ink this up. Okay. And a bit more here. I mean, to be honest, it's, you know, not showing up a great deal on the bag, obviously, because the bag is already browny. And then we're going to have him. And then I've got, obviously, a bunch of lace here. So we could have a sort of contrasting white piece. So let's just cut that down like that. I mean, that's quite nice, isn't it? And I think what I will do is... yeah, I might run a stitch down here because I decided that actually, having done these couple, I might prefer it only stitched on one side and then glue this side down. So I think that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to run the first stitch down this side. So again, let me just run that through the sewing machine. I hope the view is okay because obviously, you know, I haven't filmed, you know, stitching sort of on my sewing machine before here in the kitchen. So I hope this is okay for everybody. And then we're just going to have this one here. And I'm just going to do the same, but running the stitch down there, hopefully capturing all that stuff in there. So, oops, let's just go round. Okay, and then off that comes. go. And that's obviously my lace kind of just poking out. I'm just going to sort of take that corner off because it's quite square, which I'm not so keen on. So, I mean, really simple, but again, really nice. So all I'm going to do now is just run a little dab of glue underneath everything so that it just holds everything completely down. Like that, so. Okay. So really simple, but really, really nice, really effective. And obviously, you know, I mean, actually they're quite addictive to make, I have to say. So you could probably play around for hours doing these. So I've got another one here with this lady, and actually we could maybe incorporate her with a floral, or I've got some other pieces. What did I do with those? Honestly, I mean, I just have got so much stuff here because I just wanted to bring along anything that I was even potentially, you know, slightly likely to use. So where's my other pieces? I thought I had some of my frames, but I can't seem to see them anywhere. Well, I've got a typewriter. Perhaps that might be nicer, actually. Oh, that's nicer, I think, than the lady on that one. And I'm just going to take in a bit of lace. So again, I'm using that lovely crochet lace that I've been using quite a bit recently. I'm just going to, you know, I sort of cut and pull, and that way you get that really nice frayed edge. So again, just pop that down, you know, roughly where you want it, like that. Actually, I just need to tear this, I think. Otherwise I've got that horrible sort of straight edge. I mean, not that I mind, you know, they're not horrible, but it's just, it looks a bit strange having everything torn and then just a really very straight edge. So again, what I think I'll do is just, first of all, I will go down here and stitch that, you know, attaching that on. So, like that. Okay. Okie dokie. So that's that piece. Okay. Just using my scissors there rather than that thingy on the back of the machine to cut my thread, because obviously my arm would be knocking the camera each time. So then we can have this here like that, and I will just run down again straight down that edge. So just pop that down. Oops. Just need to make sure everything's positioned on there okay, because it's slightly slipping around obviously. Oops. Okay. Okie dokie. Yeah, they're quite addictive to make, I have to say. So I think if you sit and do some, if you've got a bunch of stuff beside you, you'll be there for hours, you know, making loads and loads, because they are quite fun to make. So again, I'm just going to then, dab a bit of glue to hold everything in place. Obviously everything is stitched anyway, but the glue just, you know, reinforces it slightly. So like that. How cute is that? And obviously, you know, I can cut the threads off afterwards. So again, let me just check that I was in frame. Sorry about my stool there, making that horrible noise on the ground. But aren't they gorgeous? Oh, this was the one that I made earlier that I actually wanted to show you, because I just love how that turned out. Aren't the colours just beautiful on there? That was the first one that I made. So yeah, I mean, really fun, and you really can do quite a lot with them. And then the other thing that I brought along, I don't know why Alexa keeps on making noise, to be honest. I'm sure she doesn't have that much to tell us. Right, the other one is my lovely Victorian book of adverts that I recently showed you guys. I don't know whether I did actually say at the time, but the adverts are quite yellowy, you know, which is, I think, a bit of a shame. Whether or not that's because they're, you know, the book's quite old now and so the pages have discoloured, or whether that's how it was published, I really am not quite sure. But I thought, let's use one of those. So again, I'm going to do exactly the same sort of method. So I'm just going to go down, you know, again, just one side with the zigzag. And I mean, you know, you can experiment around if your machine has tons of different stitches, which I am quite lucky. My machine does have a bunch of stitches. But I mean, given the fact that I've only just learned how to thread my machine after, you know, 20 years of having one, probably different stitches is, you know, probably way beyond my capabilities. So I'm just going to stick with the zigzag, which, you know, I often even struggle to get that right, to be fair. So I'm going to just pop that on there. And obviously I've got that little bit of lace left. So I'll just tuck that under. I mean, again, it's slightly lost into the doily, which is a bit of a shame. So perhaps I'll have it underneath like that. And it will just show up slightly more because it's then going across. So again, just stitch that down. Okay. Okie dokie. So just trim that off. Aren't they gorgeous, those adverts? They're just beautiful, aren't they? So really fun. Oh, actually, I'm not quite finished. I thought I was, but then I suddenly remembered actually there was something else. So let me just, again, you know, just to make sure that everything's really nice and secure, I'm just going to glue this down. So just pop that like that. Okay. And I mean, again, you know, you could add some bling here. Where did I put that bling? Did I put it back in the little packet or did I keep it out? Who knows? Who knows? Oh, no, I can't see it now anywhere. Hold on. No, it's completely gone from my sights. Oh, well. What I'm saying is, you know, you could then just stick some glue, some bling on here or something, and that would just dress that up, you know, brilliantly. So I'll just pop that to one side. And then the other thing that actually I brought along was, so again, I'll probably use another one of the adverts. So I've got this one, which is quite a large one, actually, you can see. And I've brought along some black lace. So let's just pull that in. Okay. So I'm just going to chop some of that down. I mean, I love using black lace in projects, so I just thought this would be really gorgeous on here because, as you can see, you know, the advert itself is obviously in black text and just picks up that black lace really wonderfully, doesn't it? So I'm just going to tear a little piece of doily like that. Okay, and then again, just pop that under there. I mean, the good thing is with the black lace as well is it's not lost completely in the doily, although the doily's completely lost anyway because the advert's so big. So let's just move that down there. Oops. Just again trying to check that I've got the lace up the right way. Hopefully that's the right way. Okay, so I'm just going to again run that stitching just sort of along there. Let me just move things about a bit. Okay, so we'll just try that. Okay. Oh, I can't wait to show you this one. Isn't that one gorgeous? I just do love using that black lace. It's so nice, isn't it? Now, obviously, I forgot to stitch this side with a zigzag. So, I mean, I could just leave it just with the one zigzag. I think that looks perfectly nice, actually. So I might just do that. So again, I'm just going to, you know, reinforce this to make sure everything's really nicely glued down. So just plenty of glue on there, like that. Let me just press that down like that. Okie dokie. There we go. Isn't that lovely? I mean, they're just so simple, but to be honest, you know, I think you could dress them up or leave them plain. I mean, we have now kind of gone to, you know, decorating sort of most of them, but if I just bring in the couple of plain ones that we've done, so actually these are some that I think I had done beforehand, but you know, these are great as well, you know, because they can just be tucked under pieces. They could be tucked, you know, behind a pocket here at the edge or something. Lots and lots of different uses. Yeah, I just really love them. And to be honest, as soon as I saw Creative Cafe girl Susie over there do some, I just couldn't wait to come and have a play. And then, you know, as I say, ideas kind of come to mind, don't they? And you think, oh, I'll just try this, I'll just try that. So yeah, I hope that you like them, and have a play. Get your paper bags out or your coffee dyed papers, or, you know, any scraps at all, and just have a play and see what you think, because I think they're just, you know, something really, really fun, very quick, very easy, and, you know, really quite striking and nice pieces to pop into your journals. So yeah, I hope that you like them, and I will try and remember to link Susie's original video where she just mentioned them. I think it was a flip through video and she just happened to mention them, but I will try and remember to link that below. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a fab day. Hopefully see you again soon. Thanks then. Bye.